Guys, welcome back. Hope you had a great week. Last week, we kind of discussed how we were at support. We're likely going to bounce. We had a good 3 days of bounce, right? Then we had an awful Thursday, and Friday the market still managed to hold on to the trend line that it has, held a support all the way through. So now, I'm still on the page that, we still haven't finished that wave five. We've still been in a choppy wave four. I'll go through multiple scenarios, right? If you're a bear, like I personally think that you'd honestly like an ABC, yeah, it's done. Yeah, but I just feel like even if you were a bear, like the market, probably going up to test like 4,500 is highly more probable for a short wave two short for a wave three downside, right? And I personally think that, you can see here, as long as we hold over this 4,300 area, right? Any move, even if we were to break down, I, I'm, I favor the fact that we probably will bounce off of this line. I'm still, right, looking for that wave five to the upside. A lot of stocks still looking complete. That hasn't really changed. It's still probable that we could continue to chop before we actually start the wave five to the upside. And the same thing, right? Last time we saw in NASDAQ, right? Wave four, wave five. Yeah, here we go. Like it's still the same, right? We managed to bounce off our 0.38 to fib. We're still kind of holding that. Again, the chart is, this wave four could go as deep as, 14,187. So, I mean, that's not ruled out, right? But I'm still, favor of this wave five to the upside. If I was bearish, right, I'd honestly expect a bounce, right? There is a gap to fill a gap, and then I'd expect this to go to the downside. So relatively same thought process that hasn't really changed. And again, that would all be dependent on kind of what the dollar does. We did go up to reject this, but as you can see here, this is kind of like a three-wave pattern, right? Generally, what tends to happen, right, is that we tend to go, an ABC looks something like this, and that's kind of what this, this wave pattern looks like. And based on this level of action, right, we probably break the previous high, and then, that would be a fake breakout before it comes back to the downside. If that were to kind of happen, right, that's kind of why I am also, considering that we could break the previous low, right, go a little lower before we bounce, just because the dollar seems to be lagging. But again, something else to note is the dollar does not always have to break the previous high, right? You can see here that right now we've rejected the 786. So, I mean, it could be a truncated wave C. We don't know yet. Kind of have to see. This is a major level of resistance that, it has rejected. But again, this was a sideways consolidation and it's broken out. So, kind of in no one's land right now. Kind of better to wait and watch and see where the market is going to go. And the 10-year, yeah, I mean, like, there's still, even though it's holding about, like, I don't see a lot of movement, right? So I'm still not a huge fan of a breakout just yet. Like you can see here that if I were to draw a channel, right, this is the perfect channel. So if you want a TLT bounce, you do need it to break below 4%, right? And we go to this chart, you can see that we fill the gap and then it bounced. So far, yeah, it's done the required minimum, but we need a lot more confirmation. All right, with that being said, let's look at this week's watch list, right? The first one I have is AMD again. I'm assuming this channel holds, right? As long as it stays over 102, 103, right? The rule of the channel is, top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom till it breaks. Yeah, so that's why I have calls. As long as we hold over $100, AMD should be able to go up to 140. And even if you were a little more bearish for the break that I mentioned, in case dollar wants to push a little bit higher, you can see that, the 1.618 fib is all the way at 92. So to be very honest, this could go as deep as 92 before it bounces. But yeah, that would not be a weekly play. We'll kind of see what it does as it comes there. But yeah, rule of the channel is, it holds, it bounces. So yeah, let's see what AMD does. And again, I'm still, kind of short-term bearish on K-Web plays. I personally think that any bounce rate will get rejected and go back down to the downside. Doesn't look complete. So again, that's the reason I have Baba puts right below 90, probably come back down to about 80 bucks. And the next one I have on this week's watch list is RTX. And again, this could be bullish and bearish both ways, right? It's kind of been sideways for almost a month, right? And you can see that on Friday it did break the channel. So, right, if it can break below 84, then I see 83, 82, and obviously probably makes a new low, right? I have a fib at 80 bucks. To be bullish, you can see here, this is the level it's been rejecting. It would have to break over 86 to be bullish. So those are kind of your bull and bear pivots on RTX. Last but not the least, the stock I have is yeah, I have Nike again. The reason for that is I go to the daily chart of Nike, right? I zoom out, you'll be able to see that this channel that I have drawn, right, is a long-term channel that has held a support. So, and we have gone sideways for 3 days, right? So it does at minimum have a gap to fill at 101, right? So above 100, I could see 101, and then another gap to 103. So they're kind of my Nike targets, right? And again, personally, it hasn't really broken the channel yet. So, I'm thinking that any move down could again get bought up. So that's the reason I have Nike calls on this week's watch list. And yeah, I kind of touched on everything, relatively short video. But yeah, no changes.